Ramblers have had the same logo for more than 20 years, and it's time for a refresh for the organisation, because we're not just about countryside walking and serious walkers, and I think there's quite a few misconceptions about what the Ramblers are all about. Yes, we're still about protecting the footpaths, and yes, we're still about countryside protection, but we're also doing a lot more urban walking in towns and cities, and we didn't feel that that was currently reflected in our old logo. Well, there's a lot more urban walking going on because a lot of our members live in towns and cities, and I mean, people lead increasingly stressful lives, busy jobs, and walking is a really great way for people to sort of drop all the technology and to actually just get out there and do something relaxing. And so it's easier for people sometimes to walk in their local areas, and that might be in a city parks or in a city canals. So we're doing a lot more walking in those areas now. It's not just 12-mile hikes across the moors. And we have seen a real increase actually in the number of young people joining us. We've had a real boost in our 20s and 30s groups over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. For the organisation to survive, it needs to evolve and adapt to people's changing way of life. And people have less time, they work longer hours, they have more weekend commitments, so sometimes it's more difficult for people to get out and devote a whole day to a walk. And actually, people would like to go for a walk regularly, but they'd perhaps like just a morning walk or an afternoon walk. So I think our members are appreciating that in order to remain attractive to other members and to new members, that the organisation needs to evolve and adapt what it's doing and what it offers. One of our major campaigns at the moment is to open up coastal access to walkers in England and Wales, because not many people realise that actually we don't have the right to walk around the entire coastline of England and Wales. And a lot of people think that access to beaches is just a public right, and it's actually not. There are a lot of beaches and coastline in the UK that's actually privately owned, some of it by individuals, some of it by military, and there's actually no access for walkers right around the coast. And as an island nation, I think we all feel that actually walkers should have a right to walk on the coast in a responsible manner, and this is a big thing that we're pushing for this year. The last information I have is that it's in the Marine Bill, so we are hoping that that will go through and that we will get a right of access to our coast. You know, there's not much these days that you can do for free, and having access to walk across the country and around the coast is something really valuable to everybody.
Mountain Sense was first launched last year in Keswick in the Lake District, where we're based currently. We run mountain leader training courses for the MLTE. We also run mountain skills courses both summer and winter, and we run the mountain safety campaign, which the mountain logbook's part of. We both come from a background in mountain rescue, and we see firsthand as to the problems that can arise by people going ill-equipped or just basically caught short by the weather and the lack of equipment or prior training they may have. And so from that we brought out a mountain safety card where people could refer to it, make sure they go out with the right equipment, and it also give them some advice on what to do should they have a problem in the mountains and how they could best prepare for it should they have one. We certainly are aiming at people who have got lesser experience of the mountain conditions that can catch many people out, but also as people progress through the various different skill levels from walker to climber with a little scrambling in the middle, then of course they're going to be pushing the envelope of that activity that they're going into, and so of course the inherent risks change all the time. Yes, the mountain logbook, it's been launched here, as you say, at the Outdoors Show. It's finally come to fruition. It's been about 3 months in the making, and it's just come back from the printers now, and the idea is that the logbook will be a great resource for walkers. It lists all the different mountain ranges, the Munros, the Wainwrights, the Corbetts and the Welsh 3000s. It gives height, grid references for the summits and rank order, so people can refer to that when they're planning the trips into the mountains. It also has tear-out route cards where people can fill out relevant information that a rescue team may require if somebody fails to return at the end of the day, and that can be left with somebody who's expecting the return, as well of course as having the majority of the book for filling out your own mountain experiences for you to look back on years to come. But the mountains will always be there tomorrow, and make sure you are too.
Okay, the new story for 2009 is the power frame system, which has been designed to give us a very lightweight but extremely stable range of mountain going tents. And it's focused really around this little thing here. This is the power clip, which is the fastening which fixes the tent to the pole. And it's really is at the heart of the power frame system. What it does is when you're pitching the tent, it clips on using the grey part of the power clip, which is a softer piece of plastic, which means that the pole can move on the clip so that when you get the tent, you can get the tent pitched into the perfect shape that you want it to be. When it's there, you then clip it down with the red section, which is a stiffer part of the clip, which then locks it in place. And once you've done that, you've got a rigid curve, and the pole is rigidly locked into the fly sheet, which means that basically the pole can't move. So if you try and shift it, it resists, and it makes it for a much more stable tent. It basically gives you a tunnel, a pole in an arc, which is locked in place. And the way it does, if you can imagine the tension from here, it runs along to the other clip at the opposite side. So you're basically setting up a number of bracing structures across the pole. And that works extremely well, and it allows us to make a lighter weight tent which is every bit as stable as previous models that we've had. The weight saving, it comes from the fact that you don't have pole sleeves, and also we're using a lighter weight fabric also in this particular range. But it means that you can have a tent like this one, the Power Odyssey, which is a full 4-season mountain going tent for 2 people weighing 2.2 kilograms. It's a good mountain tent, but also there's been quite a lot of input from our side, from the UK side, to develop the Power Odyssey into this one, the Power Odyssey XT, which is quite different from a Vaude tent perspective in that it has an extended porch. That's what the XT stands for, giving you a lot of space to cook and get changed, especially in the British weather conditions where you might be arriving soaking wet at the end of a day's hiking and you want to get into some dry kit. This is the first show that we've been able to show it to the consumers. Obviously we've sold it in to the UK retailers very successfully, and they love it. They love it. We've got it on a good display point here, right on the corner of the stand, and you can just see people walking past saying, "That's what I'm after. That's what I've been looking for." Vaude now produce a women's specific product in the rucksack range for every activity. This one, the Alpine Pack, shows the kind of features that are designed in. It has an adjustable shoulder harness here, insofar as you can vary the length of the shoulder straps. It's called the Flash system, and Vaude use this on a number of products. On this particular one, you use this remote cam device, which allows you to change the length of the shoulder strap. In terms of women's specific features on the harness, you've got a contoured shoulder strap here, which avoids the bust, slightly shorter in length, and slightly narrower shoulder strap takeoff point. Also, the fabric on all of the women's rucksacks is a softer micro fleece, which is nicer as a body contact fabric. Obviously in the summertime, women are much more likely to be wearing summer tops and vests. Other women's specific features on this product include what is a very sensible feature, which came about from a lot of the focus groups that we did before this range was launched, and that is simply that the lining is pale coloured. So when you're trying to find stuff inside, it's lighter and it's easy to find things. There's also a lot of organiser pockets on these rucksacks. I'll probably show you that more suitably on the bike product, where you have organiser pockets in here to take your inner tubes and bits and pieces. Also, there's on all of the women's specific products, there's a fleece lined pocket for your sunglasses, your GPS, MP3 player, and to identify the women's range, there is the Vaude flower emblem, like so.